not saying that Solana becomes bigger than ETH or anything of that sort. I'm just saying, could it outperform in this cycle? So I think we're at the new cycle point. The logarithmic chart, we got to the 2 standard deviations oversold. Everybody knows the on-chain metrics. We've got the perfect setup. Is it today? Is the low in? I would give it an 80% probability, but there's a 20% chance it's not. So I'm very focused right now on watching the price structure. And the final thing to give you is the big one for me is ETH breaking about the 2000 level. That would give us an inverted head and shoulders low. And also there's a downtrend from the high, and it would have then broken a wedge pattern to the upside. And that would be the start of the run to new highs whenever that occurs. Since I first discovered Bitcoin in 2013, been of the opinion that this was a parallel financial system that's being built. In the last 18 months, I've realized that it's bigger than just a financial system. It's in fact the entire system of value, transfer, storage, and ownership in the new digital world. It is probably one of the biggest things I've ever heard of or seen, and it is an incredibly exciting moment in time to be part of it. And it's like learning about the discovery of oil when the Rockefellers and all of these guys started figuring out that the oil was going to make the world go round. Had you been an investor and a participant and understood what it could do and what businesses you could build across the network of oil or the mobile phone or the internet, the fortunes that were made, the changes that happened were so staggering. And this is happening faster. And at the very center of it is a system of money and value, which means that in itself, it is going to accrue value faster than anything else, because that's what it's actually doing, is taking value from old places and putting it into a new place. So the opportunity set is so big, and it is that perfect nexus of macro and crypto, because the macro is so fucked, which we've known for so long. The massive debt, the bad demographics, the polarization of the world again, the deglobalization, the globalization, all the mess that caused. All of that is going on in macro land, which is pretty miserable. And here's the solution in front of our eyes. I mean, what a time to be alive. And that's why it's so important. Everybody needs to understand this stuff, whether you're trading this stuff, building businesses, or you're just observing it. It is incredibly, incredibly important. What are the central banks doing? Right? Because that's unemployment rising for 3 years and inflation falling for 3 years. What would the central banks be doing? They would be trying to stimulate as much as possible, because we have not had a 4-year recession in, well, as long as, I think, not even the 30s. I don't think it was that long. So, but let's assume it's the 1930s again. That is incredibly positive crypto, because there's a massive debasement of currency having to happen to try and protect the world falling apart because of the debt burden. So, again, it's not about are we in recession? It is what is the outcome as growth slows? What happens to liquidity on a forward-looking basis? Initially, the fiscal stimulus combined with debasement of currency via quantitative easing. And then every time they pull the quantitative easing trigger again, it had the same effect. It has it every time. Now, they're going to be a little gun shy right now because inflation is very high. But again, market's job is to look at probabilistic outcomes in the future, not where we are today. If you look at the world where we are today, you will lose money always.